Hello, my name is Bill Thompkins, and I'm recording at BeachClubRecords studio this morning. I wanted to address you as an American citizen. I'm 67 years old, and as an American citizen, I've just watched all kinds of things that our country has done that we are now responsible for, and especially the situation in Afghanistan I wanted to address this morning. I wanted to address it not in pointing at the Democrats or Republicans, but I wanted to address it from the position of an American citizen who's responsible for what's taking place there. We've had President Bush, President Obama, President Trump, and now President Biden, who have had the responsibility to make the decisions that have come to this particular nation, and the disaster that's taking place there. That, I believe, is our responsibility to address. We had the thing that happened in 9/11, where September 9/11, where we were attacked by the people who were in Afghanistan, and I agreed that we needed to stop that haven. President Bush made the decisions that he made. We defeated them early in 2002. And then President Bush made the decision to continue the work in Afghanistan. I've always supported the soldiers, and I've supported our presidents with the decisions that they've made, except for recently, I've come to that point that what's happened in Afghanistan needs to be addressed by the American people. You haven't heard the politicians address it well. You've heard the Republicans blame the Democrats, and the Democrats be silent at this time. So, for more information about me, I'm going to give you just a little bit of my history before I get into what I'm going to get into. As I said, my name is Bill Thompkins. I'm 67 years old. A Voice in the Wilderness USA.org, you can get more of the things that I had to say. But as an American citizen who loves this nation that has problems, this nation that's filled with all kinds of failures. We have issues in this nation that we have to be held accountable for. But one thing we need to be held accountable for is the word that we have given to those that are our allies or those who we say we are fighting for. So just on my point a little bit, President Bush made the right decision of going in. I don't know if he made the right decision to stay, but once he made his decisions and once we were there, President Obama comes forward and he begins to switch things and mess with things. And then we had to reuse American blood to take back land that we had already taken. That bothered me. And then when President Trump comes in, he makes the decision that he's going to get out of it. Even though we've been in Asia for a long time, even though we're in Korea, even though we're in Germany, even though we got bases in all of these places, when this country is not yet stable, President Trump decided that it's time to get out. Now, I don't understand that, but what about the words of the original? What about the promises that we made to the Afghanistan people? What about those things that we've done? What about all of that we made, but now the next president comes in and trumps that? See, I have a problem with Republicans and Democrats not first being American citizens and those who keep the American covenant, those who are more committed to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party than they are to we the people. And I also have a problem with we the people, that's why I'm addressing this, who haven't held their feet to the fire for the words and the promises that we made to the nations that we're committed to. So the next president, in my opinion, doesn't get to change our commitment to the citizens of the countries that either we conquer or that we partner with. I was opposed to President Obama's treatment of Israel when we were in partnership or when we were allied to them. I'm opposed to what President Trump did when he began to move our troops out, when we know this nation wasn't ready. We know this nation wasn't strong. But those decisions were made, and we have to be held accountable for them. Bottom line on some of this last decision that was made, this decision that this current administration made, the Biden administration made to pull out American troops before our allies were out, before our equipment was out, before our own citizens were out? That decision was not only horrible, that decision they need to be held accountable for that. They need to be held accountable. Would you bring out our American troops before our American citizens were out of that country? Would you bring out our American troops while all of our equipment was there, while our own embassy was not protected? Whoever made those decisions need to be held accountable. The other thing that I'm concerned about, if the people that made those decisions are still there leading, can we, the people of the United States, trust them? I'm not one of those that thinks about violence. I'm not one of those that thinks about that kind of protest. I'm not one of those that thinks about anything like that. But I do think that we need to hold from this point forward our leadership for their irresponsible behavior. Not just in Afghanistan, but all these many decisions that have been made during this pandemic to use fear to dominate, to use fear to control. Even recently, our president, who spoke about not forcing people to get a shot, not forcing people to do that, just got online the other day, and I'm not forcing them, but he encouraged every company to make people get something into their veins. That bothers me. That bothers me. Yes, I take a flu shot every year. Yes, I take the pneumonia shot every year. Yes, I understand that. But we get to make these choices, but not now. The switch that's taking place, we need to be concerned about that. Just like we need to be concerned about what's happening right now in Afghanistan and the fact that you do not hear the Republicans properly taking responsibility for that. You do not hear the Democrats properly taking responsibility for that. Let me say this. It is we, the people of the United States. It is we, the people, that are to hold them responsible. We no longer can sit back and say, well, they made those decisions. No, we voted for the people that made these decisions. And they've broken our word. See, they forgot that they represent us. They forgot that the Senate represents us, that the Congress represents us. They don't represent themselves. I'm going to say a few more things, and it's going to get off, but I'll get back for a second. When our Congress and when our Senate passes laws that they don't have to obey during the Obamacare thing, the Obamacare stuff, and I realized we needed to take care of the needy. We needed to take care of those that had conditions. But when the Congress and the Senate said that they weren't going to be under the rules that they wanted everybody else to be under, hey, that bothers me. When in the most difficult times, when our finances are horrible, they're still taking raises. See, that's on us. See, that greed and that irresponsible behavior is on us. If we keep voting in the same people over and over again that are just meeting their own personal needs, see, that's on us. The problem, especially recently, is they gave us money. Oh, we're going to give you a stimulus. We're going to give you that. See, that was to shut some of us up. But my voice is not going to be shut up because what they recently did cannot be accepted. What they recently allowed cannot take place. And some voices, I pray that you would join me in these voices saying, no, we need to bring them here. We need to let them come in. We have a crisis at the border, unnecessary crisis at the border, where people are coming into this country claiming political asylum. What's happening in Afghanistan? Every one of those who helped us, every one of those who want to get out of that, I say to you, let's bring them in. Yes, we've got to vet them. I hear the Republican Party say, oh, we need to vet them. I agree with you, Republican Party. Take the time to vet them. But we made a promise to them. And we made a commitment with them. And thousands of them are dying because of the foolish decisions that have just been made by our leadership. I said it again. How can you allow your army to leave and your citizens to stay? How can you allow your army to leave and your equipment to stay? And how can you allow your army to leave and those who you made promises to be brutalized, to be killed? And we know that that's taking place. Yes, American citizens, they made the decisions, but the thing is on us. It's not on them. It's on us to say, bring them in. It's on us to say, hey, no, we got, our homes are open, our cities are open, yes, our states are open. We have wasted billions and trillions of dollars over and over again to meet the needs of the people that we are politically aligned with. But these people, these are poor, needy, these are people that you get to throw away, but not me. My home is open. I've already contacted the Lutheran Social Services. I've already contacted other organizations, and I said, my home, I will leave my home, and I will give my home to an Afghanistan. I will leave my home because I made that promise when my president made that promise. Yes, I'm American like that we need to be held accountable for what our presidents and what our leaders say to our allies. And for us to sit by at this time in the world, for us to sit by. Now, I appreciate what the Republicans said that we need to vet. But I don't appreciate silence in the midst of wrong. I don't appreciate injustice taking place right in front of us and us looking the other way. I'm not okay with that. So, my name is Bill Thompkins. I'm at voiceinthewildernessusa.org. I'm picking back up my podcast. I'm putting my voice out on YouTube. And I'm putting my home open so that an Afghanistan family can stay. I'm asking you as the American citizens to speak to your senators, to speak to your Congress, to speak to our president, and to ask them why they are continually allowing this to take place. Even recently, August the 31st is the deadline. Our president said he's okay with that when the people that he made the agreement with aren't okay with it. They've come in anyway. They've violated the principles that they said. Now, I could say a lot more because I'm angry, but I'm not mad. There's a big difference between that. I'm angry because that represents us. I'm angry because they made promises in my name and in your name, in America's name, and they haven't kept it. I'm angry when I hear the Republicans say, oh, we've got to vet them, but don't say bring them in. We are allowing people to come into this country through our borders. Haitians, everybody's coming through our borders. Our borders are open, and it's ridiculous. And these people who we promise will not taking the stand that we need to take as vigorous as we need to. So as I said, I'm angry, but I'm not mad. This is Bill Thompkins, a voice in the wilderness, USA.org.